Now, we're living in a time of a pandemic, and this could take a toll on our physical as well as our mental health. Doing yoga can actually rejuvenate your mind and even help ease those chronic pains you may feel at times. But today's International Yoga Day, and to highlight the importance of yoga as well as practicing a healthy lifestyle, yoga teacher Wendy Wood speaks to us from Johannesburg. Wendy, of course, owns and runs the Ishtar Yoga and Health Center in Sandton. Thank you for your time, Wendy, as well as, your guest next to you. I didn't quite get the name of your other guest. George, good morning to you, George, and thank you so much for waking up so early to educate us about quite this important, form of exercise. But it seems it's not only to benefit your physical health. There are other benefits, I understand, that come with yoga.
Yes, yoga will benefit you on every level of being, that is physical, mental, and emotional, and even spiritual. The thing is to actually get down and do the yoga. It's a complete inner experiment. You work with the body, you open up the body, you wake up lots of dormant energy, you become completely immune to most diseases, hopefully, and you work with the mind, so your mind is always perfectly balanced, a clear mind, you bring about good decisions. The emotional body will become very, very relaxed. It's the most amazing experience to do a yoga class with yoga nidra, relaxation, the breathing. To experience that is very difficult to put it into words. You've got to actually experience it yourself.
I mean, I'm sure you would agree with me, Wendy, that this pandemic has been a challenge for all of us around the world, both physically, emotionally, even spiritually. How important is yoga for the time that we're in at this moment?
It's absolutely crucial. I couldn't imagine my life without having this connection within. You connect on a spiritual level to that self within. And once you've done that, once you've connected, it never goes away. It's a switch that is always there for you to turn on when necessary.
And please, on that note, just educate us a bit and take us back to the origins of yoga. Where does it originally, come from? Where did it start?
Well, we have to thank our Mother India for giving us these tools. George, do you remember the exact year yoga began? It was very long ago.
Yes. Yoga goes back to a remote antiquity. Actually, yoga is as old as the creation itself. But when we think of the purely physical processes of yoga, it goes back millennia, into a remote antiquity. The yoga that we practice is called Hatha Yoga, as it balances the energies within the physical body. It brings about a certain degree of control of the inner states of the physical body, and it pacifies the mind to a degree. But where Hatha Yoga ends, then meditation begins, and I feel that at this time we need to go beyond the purely physical processes, and also deal with the inner soul culture, and meditation is so important.
Yeah, and if I could just ask you, George, on that note, is there an age restriction or limit to practicing yoga?
No, it is very beneficial if children begin at a very young age. Their bodies are usually very pliable. They do not have the fears and the rigidity of mind that most adults have.
Yeah.
So they can begin to experiment with the gymnastics of the physical postures, whereas most adults would find it very difficult, and it can be even dangerous for them to do the gymnastics of the postures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could just then jump in there, Wendy, and ask you this question before I let you go. I mean, if I'm a beginner, never done yoga before, perhaps feel intimidated by it, because I may think, like Gareth thinks, that we're not as flexible as we would like to think. Perhaps some moves could be a bit intimidating. What would your advice to be in terms of a beginner? Where do I start?
Yoga will meet you wherever you are. You're not expected in a class to go into an extended full asana. The body adjusts. And anybody will benefit, whether you're a beginner, whether you're an expert. You'll get the pulse from yoga.
I like to hear the sound of that. I like to hear the sound of that, Wendy. Sounds so encouraging. We might just try it because, you know, Gareth and I are both beginners and it was a bit intimidating, but we feel more encouraged to actually try it because I think at the stage where we are in a pandemic, we need, of course, solutions as this. Thank you so much, Wendy, of course, for joining us there from the Healthy Yoga and Health Center. You can find them based in Sandton.